Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me in another video. So Phoebe Philo just dropped another release for Collection C. So there are in total 16 pieces. I enjoy this not just to follow the clothes, even though I love to talk about that and we're going to talk about that, but I also love seeing the evolution of her brand, how she references herself, how she challenges herself, the addition of new textures, new codes, new materials. I've really been enjoying covering her brand. So let's just go through each piece one by one, starting off with the clustered sequin dress. So it's in this ivory jersey. This one immediately caught my eye, and it's not quite this like stark white. Like the sequins are in creamy ivory tones, creating I think this really nice subtle depth and texture. It doesn't feel dense or overworked either. It still feels quite light, almost like organic and petal-like, even like swan-like. You know, what I love about Phoebe is her version of femininity feels a little bit more abstract, a little bit more intuitive, never quite obvious. This dress, it almost has like this couture touch with the sequins, but then it's on jersey. She's mixing this fashion side with everyday comfort. What's also interesting is the back. It's designed to be open if you wish, with the button closure, which makes it easy and free, not overly constrained. Again, I could see this being a great occasion piece, a great holiday party dress, even a pre-wedding dress. Honestly, even just in this kind of like crop silhouette at the top, then this jersey on the bottom. It's an interesting kind of like contrast in volumes, but I also think it could really work in maybe if you want to size up like a maternity kind of dress. It speaks to this side of Phoebe that is quite elegant but still sculptural, but it's also soft. So we have that. Next, we've got this accordion bag. What's clever about this is it's double-faced. One side is suede and then the other side is a pleated fan. So depending on how you feel that day, also keep in mind what you're wearing, but you can change the face of the bag. It has this trapeze like north-south shape. The strap is adjustable. You can wear it at 3 different lengths, and I love it in this oxblood shade, sculptural, multi-dimensional, and it feels just very Phoebe forward. Like, you know, she's been developing this motif in her bags and ready-to-wear, and it's, again, I think this sense of design continuity that feels in conversation with her past work, but it's not a repetition of it, and that's why I think her work feels modern. She's referencing her work, she's evolving it, but it's not with a sense of nostalgia. Next, we've got this soft ridge jumper. So at first glance, you're gonna look at this and think it's a charcoal knit, but then you're also gonna be like, hey, what's going on there? So it's one of these pieces that like makes you look twice, and it's got this gathered neck collar. It has this ruched look, and it gives it this interesting sculptural shape and depth. It reminds me a little bit of her Celine Fall 2016 show, where she played with these gathered fabrics around the necks, around the shoulders, which is a theme with some of the pieces in this drop. She's doing something similar, taking like a basic knit, making it a little bit strange, a little bit uncanny. It feels quite wearable, but with a twist. Next, we have these clustered earrings. These clustered radiating forms have been a theme with this drop. I noticed that when we saw the lookbook earlier this year, made me think of old world couture, but made abstract, modern, organic. These are still statement pieces. They feel sculptural, geological, and add a little bit more intrigue to an outfit. I think as we've seen with similar collections on the runways, I'm seeing this motif as well, but you know, it is a part of Phoebe's design language. I really love seeing her continue on with this. Next, we've got the bolo mules. So we've got in this caramel and oxblood. They have this angular toe, slightly exaggerated, and then there are these silver details that just add a little bit more attitude. Next, we've got this robe coat. It has this grand shawl collar, like these wide seams. So, and it's 100% cashmere, and I think it's, you know, quite dramatic, but also wearable. Again, this is one of these pieces you'll pull out every winter. You'll have for years and years. It's generous, sculptural, but it's cashmere, so it'll be lighter than other kinds of wools, and it's already sold out in my size. It has, again, this grandness and the comfort, and that comfort factor is also felt throughout this collection, and as well as the Phoebe Philo brand as well. Like, she'll have some other pieces that are more fashion, but you'll always be able to find a fabulous coat that will be your winter coat you cherish for years. Next, we've got this pocket gig bag in black. It comes in oxblood suede as well as black suede. Again, it references her own designs. It's this mini pouch, and it has this accordion profile. And I'm just looking at this from the perspective of how it would really work as like a cute little small little pouch bag, but also an organizer inside of a larger bag. It has these compartments that seem big enough for like definitely cards or like other little things, keys, maybe a phone depending on the size, although I'm looking at these measurements, it might not fit most phones. I think it's a nice kind of like organizer within a bag, or if you just need a little bag and you need a little bit of organization, there's that. Again, a very thoughtful design. So next we've got liquid cargo trousers, and they're made in this crushed velvet, but again, they're also cargo trousers, and it's just kind of this interesting juxtaposition of this material that it's quite textural and shimmering and has an element of something a little bit more formal, but it's in a cargo pant, which feels a lot more casual. So again, it's just this combination of something that adds comfort and of course practicality, like the utilitarian pockets, but then it's in this velvet white, which seems like a contradiction for like a utilitarian cargo pant. And of course there's this matching top, so if you want to get the full look, this top looks quite generous in fit. I think that's very intentional. Like that's the look she's trying to give off, the sense of ease, comfort, that sense of relaxedness that I think defines her work. Next we've got this curved shoulder coat, so another car coat, this time with these signature jumbo seams, and then this, I would say, relatively like this quite slim belt. And I was thinking about how they had this like shorter version from the last drop that feels again like a continuation of what we've been seeing, showing how she continues on with the silhouette. Next we've got this liquid soft ridge top, so this one's in this black, and again gathered ruche detailing around the neck and the shoulders. Very experimental. It still is wearable. Again, it ties back beautifully to earlier Phoebe Philo motifs with her Celine days, and again the sense of comfort, continuity, and everything feels like it belongs in this one long evolving story. And then we've got this classic coat in black. Again, another one of these forever pieces, timeless in design, but then it has those signature jumbo seams, which you also see quite heavily in Phoebe Philo's designs, even from her days at Celine. And then finally, we have this round buckle belt, 40 millimeters. I always feel like when brands include the sizes of things, it makes me think they're going to come out with like different sizes, but this is in the 40 millimeters. It's in this cognac leather. It's, again, a nice practical piece. Well, it does have multiple holes, so you can wear it at like a higher waist level or a lower waist level, or like at your hips. Honestly, as someone whose body has completely changed after I had my kid, I love this flexibility. I think about how many belts that I let go of because of like the holes. While I could like add extra holes, it would sort of lose the integrity of the design. But again, it's a thoughtful detail. And also even just like the drops of like waists in like pants. Like right now, I feel like we're seeing a move towards like a lower waistline. It's just considerate of that. So yeah, that's the full drop. We've got 16 pieces. So much of this is so wearable, but there is still that fashion side, which I think she finds the balance between the two. And what I like about whenever I look at her collection, there's so much where it's like, yes, you can have a piece like this now, but your future self will thank you in like a decade that you picked up this piece. So yeah, anyways, guys, that's my video for today. Thank you so much for joining me in another one, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.